And we're live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Derek Weldon, and I am one half of your hosts of the Cool JDM show.
I am Michael Dennis, and I'm the other half of your hosting crew.
That's right, and we've got one more half too, because we never passed math class.
That's right.
And so not on the camera, but behind the scenes and controlling the show and also feeding your questions into us is...
Max. Hi.
Max, we both gave our first name, and you did not give your first name and last name.
Oh, Maximilian Scheffler.
Wow.
What a lovely last name. Maximilian Scheffler.
That means this show is 150% staffed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
I was looking on the screen just now and it showed 0 views for our intro. And so the 3 viewers right now that are in the show, welcome. Thank you for showing up. But I feel like we did our intro for nobody.
No, there's also going to be people who watch this after the fact. So they're going to go back and they're going to click through and be like, that was so cool. Yeah, your pen's confiscated.
Yeah.
No pen fidgeting.
On the very first time that we did this show, we were both fidgeting with our pens. And I just realized I still had mine in my hands. And so, yeet, off it goes. Yeet. Okay, so what are you expecting in our live show? Yes, this is live. If you guys want to stick around, you'll probably see us accidentally say something really stupid. Probably me out of the 3 of us. And then it's going to be going as a regular video on the channel after that. So if you catch us live, you'll get a chance to send...
I like it. More responsibility. What can you expect from the show today? Well, I'll let you know. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on at PCA. That means updates about the channel, maybe actually mostly about the channel, what you can expect as a viewer. We'll also be talking a little bit about tips for buying modified cars.
That's going to be our big topic for the day, too.
Yep, that'll be our auction industry type topic for today. Derek and I will attempt to sell each other on a car. Or two. Yeah.
What cars do we got?
We got a Sprinter Treno at auction. And the other one at auction is a Jimny. Or what's it called in the US?
Samurai.
A Samurai.
And this one's pretty cool.
It is
and
very
then...
cool.
Probably the most interesting vehicle that we've showed off is the next one, in my opinion. I wrote a blurb.
Lexus Minivan?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I wrote a blurb about that.
Forward to that.
I've got so many details about that vehicle. I looked on the website.
Wow.
It's fantastic. Okay?
I got a cool one too.
Yeah.
It's a Suzuki Cappuccino
but don't say anything else because it is probably cooler than my Lexus Minivan that I just said was the coolest one that we've ever picked. So
I don't know.
Each time we're getting a little bit better.
Yeah. And then at the end we'll finish off with your questions, your burning questions.
And if you have non-burning questions, you can send those in too.
Yeah.
And if you've got the questions now, you can post those into the chat, and then we are going to feed those into the questions section. So anytime throughout the video, if you've got questions, go ahead and ask them. If you're watching this after the fact and you didn't catch it live, go ahead and ask your questions anyway, and we can scrub those for next week's questions. That's what we've been doing, so it works out pretty well. Just
before we get started, I have one thing that has been like tickling my brain since we started this.
Hold on. Is this part of this week at PCA?
No, this is just a completely random something.
Okay, go ahead.
I think on our first show that we did, someone commented, I'm listening to this while I'm washing the dishes.
Yeah.
If that person is still around, I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope it helps you wash dishes, because I personally hate washing dishes. I just thought it was fun to think about that somebody said that, and I don't know why, but I can't get it out of my brain. So, wherever you are, I didn't catch your name, but wash those dishes.
I wash dishes probably six days a week. I'm the dishwasher.
I hate washing
in
dishes.
my house, and the only reason I don't do it 7 days a week is that Friday night when I come home after work, I just don't want to do any dishes.
I don't blame you. That's me, except it's one night a week where I do dishes, where I'm like, I've had that Friday feeling the whole time, and now I'm screwed because the sink's full.
So hold on, you only do dishes once a week, and you just pile them up until...
I mean, if I could, yeah, but if I cook a lot that week, then there'll be more dishes.
Right, and then you've only got the one person living with you, which is you. And I've got 5 in our family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
If I go one day without washing, it is a disaster zone.
Yeah.
In my house, it's terrible.
Mine too, but I can forget about it and not do anything. Anyways.
Right. So, sexy voice, what are we doing next? What's our first segment?
This week at PCA, what has been going on?
Did we get the reverb that time, Max?
A little bit, but
Wonderful.
Nice.
Okay, so a few topics here of what's going on at the office. We're a car export company. We've always got something going on, and a lot of people want to know the behind the scenes. These days, a lot of our thought is coming down to what's going on with our YouTube channel, because we do have the newly launched 1.5 month ago channel, Drives Japan, and so we're going to give you updates on that. Plus, these live shows are new-ish. We had them a long time ago. We're redoing them now. A lot of you guys that are watching know that. This is our 4th, right? This is our 4th episode?
Yeah. Sounds right.
And give you a little bit of insight in how things are going. And so the first time that we did this, we had 19 concurrent viewers. The next time we did it, we had 39. And then the last time that we did it, prior to this, we had 47. And so each episode, people are watching us more, which is the opposite of what I was expecting, honestly.
You're trying to get the early ones and be like, we're going to ruin you.
You always have. So the first episode, people are going to click on it out of curiosity, right? And then they're going to leave if they don't like it, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next time that they see the thumbnail, they're going to be like, I know what to expect. It's going to be lame. It is not lame. Okay? And this is even more important. Yeah. The duration of the views.
Oh, that's a fun stat to watch.
The average duration for our very first episode was 10 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay? The second one was 11 minutes and 6 seconds, and so it went up. And then the third one, the most recent show that we did, went to 12 minutes and 21 seconds. Ooh. And so with each episode, people are watching us longer. And so get those dishes done, wash that car, do whatever you do, vacuum the floor.
Zaid's folding laundry.
yes.
Which is cool. So it's house chores. We are accompanying people on their mundane routine tasks.
Sounds pretty helpful. Hopefully. And when you're not watching this, or when you're watching this, you can go to our website and browse auction cars.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can send them in to us in the questions section.
Yeah.
I suppose you could if you have a question about a car that's going through auction. The one thing, though, is the auction cars, and a lot of people who are not our customers don't know this already, but the USS auctions, which is about 70% of all the total auctions, they don't allow you to show the images. So if you're wondering why our auction tool, which allows you to browse 100 and something thousand car listings at one time or throughout the week, the USS ones don't show you the pictures. It's a copyright issue. They will cancel our membership if we do. So if you want the pictures, you can ask us for that. You'll get a speedier reply if you are already a registered customer.
Well, you must be a registered customer to get photos.
So right. I mean, we don't want to spend all of our time giving photos to people who aren't going to turn out to be buyers.
It would be hundreds of thousands of people that
are just
want
like,
to have
give us
photos,
pictures.
lovely,
and we have to manually do that. Yeah. Right. Okay, so we have a bunch of videos. You know, our regular channel, this channel, hasn't had any videos in the last week. Sometimes we go through droughts. Only about 5 to 10% of the cars that we actually sell end up on the YouTube channel. And the reason for that is because most of our sales go to car dealers who are importing the cars to resell them. And those people don't naturally want us to be posting their vehicles because they don't want people to know where they got the vehicles from, etc. Yeah. And so we do have a bunch of cars. The ones that are coming up are Honda Life, our first time ever shooting one.
Ooh,
I thought it was pretty cool. Pajero Mini, which we've sold plenty of. Really good car to import if you're looking to sell for money at the moment because they're reasonably priced. Crown Athlete Touring, one of my favorite cars. Legacy GTB, an excellent car, but we've done it to death on the channel. Yeah. Honestly, we've got like 50 of them on the channel, I think. Honda Vamos, which is Honda's new version of the K-Van when they moved from the Activan over to the Vamos. That's a little interesting. Toyota Celsior again, something that's been on the channel a lot.
But it's awesome.
And a Toyota Soarer, and everyone likes the 30 series Soarer, the drift one. The round one with the 1JZ twin turbo manual or automatic transmission. This one's the generation beforehand, the 20 series. See if you can bring a picture of that. Just a 20 series Soarer.
I like the air keyboard thing.
Mike, bring it up on the air keyboard.
I'm going to move my mouse here. I know there's a real mouse, but I can't touch that because it'll actually screw. Now, we'll type Toyota Soarer. What is it, an M20?
Yeah. So the M means
and-
the engine. In this case, it's a 3-liter, and so that would be a 7M engine. So this generation of Soarer, we've got one coming up, and it's not one we have sold in a very long time. The last one could have been several years ago, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they are.
Big picture. Oh, we're in Yahoo Auctions. I don't want the big picture anymore. Max,
And
help.
in case you didn't know, this is basically a Toyota Supra with a different looking body. It is a 2-door sports coupe sold to the gentleman buyer. And so look forward to that on the channel. Probably not within the next week, actually, because we have so many vehicles, it'll take us some time to get to it. But it is something for you to take a look at. Mike,
Yes.
how many subscribers do we have in the Drives Japan new YouTube channel?
At the time this little sheet of paper was written, we had 1,018.
1,018.
Yeah.
So
And
we
so
did it.
that's-
We reached the goal.
Oh, yeah. We
goal
wanted
was
to get
1,000.
1,000.
We did it.
All
I think
right.
it was slightly
High
after the live
five.
stream. Nice, that was a quick one. It's slightly after the live show ended, but yeah, people subscribed. So thank you very much for subscribing.
And we've got a new video going up on the channel tomorrow, and we got a big stupid spoiler on our race car.
Wait, is that a spoiler for the video, or
We already gave a spoiler on the previous video.
Oh. So
At
the
the end, we
spoiler
were
is a
like, and we've
spoiler.
got spoilers for the next.
And I would like to point out, it's a wing, not a spoiler. But we're talking about spoilers
right.
all the time.
You know what? In that video, I was thinking about saying that, like, here's what a wing is, here's what a spoiler is, because they are different things,
Yeah.
right? So why don't you explain what the difference is, Mister? I'm jumping in.
This is a spoiler to the spoiler video. Go ahead.
Pretty much.
No, it's a wing video.
Fine.
That's-
So a spoiler does not have air going underneath.
Okay.
A wing has air going underneath.
Oh, would you like me to be pedantic about that?
Yes,
If the
please.
spoiler is on the front of the car, then air does go underneath it.
Oh.
But isn't that a splitter?
No, it would be considered a spoiler. A spoiler disrupts the natural flow of the air,
Okay.
whereas a wing has to have air go up and above and below it in order
Yeah.
for it to be a wing. We're getting technical here, but you
Yeah.
can have air go underneath it and still qualify as a spoiler. It
Okay.
depends on the amount of air that's going underneath and what it actually does to your airflow.
How about this? If you want the answer, watch the video. It'll be there, right? Or it won't.
that was
Who knows?
excellent, Mike. This is so good. And Max has been upping his game with the animations that he's been doing for these videos. This one in particular, he did a lot of cool stuff with particle effects to simulate the air that's going around the spoiler. And so when you watch that, make sure you give compliments to Max, because I don't pay Max enough for making these cool things, and I need something else that makes him do the excellent videos. These compliments keep things going.
Compliments.
I still need to finish some of the animations.
But they're always dope. We always say Max is in the kitchen cooking up the dope stuff. We don't say stuff. I say a worse word than stuff, but I'm being cultured.
Family friend.
Diplomatic.
Family friend. Yeah.
Okay, so that is all for the This Week at PCA.
Look forward to it, hopefully.
And subscribe to the channel, because we want this channel to do well.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been commenting. They think that the channel is really good, and they're just expecting it to blow up. And I'm not sure about you, but have you ever subbed to a channel when it was tiny, and then it got big, and you were like, I was one of the first ones? You can't say that unless you're actually one of the first ones. So go ahead and click that subscribe button.
What we should do? We should. Yeah, that was really good. But I think we should go one step further, and we should screenshot the first 1,000 people that subbed, or like screenshot people as of now.
That is a really good idea.
And then it would be cool to do something later for like the initial starters if it were to blow up. And if it doesn't blow up, I'm sorry, you get nothing. But if it does, like if you share it with all your friends and family and it gets super popular, I think it would be nice.
So what you're sorry?
The reason why is like all these companies always have like new signing bonuses for new customers, and I always feel like if you were a customer already, shouldn't you be getting like cooler stuff because you were the reason that thing
Fair
got
enough.
popular? So I don't know. I'd like to see more of that.
But when
kind
you're
of thing.
buying cars through us, because we are a car exporter, you get the cool stuff by continuing buying from us, because
That's
it's
true.
that trust with your car exporter that you're looking for. And once you sign up with us, you get that.
That's true.
And you
Yeah.
get sweets.
What?
Candy. That's a little
People don't know
secret.
that. This is a secret, Max.
Yeah.
That you're just exposing to the world here.
Spoiler.
Call back. Watch the Drives Japan video about wings.
Yeah, which comes
Not
out
spoilers.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next
What's
segment.
our main topic for today, Derek?
This one's kind of a big one. You want to put the reverb on for me?
Ooh.
Let's go.
Are you ready for the reverb? Okay. The next segment is industry topics. Did I sound like the NPR radio host? I'm going for that.
Okay, good.
Okay.
When you say do the reverb, Max literally cranks the volume to max. It's either reverb completely on or off.
The timing
hope
was a
it
bit
sounds
off,
good.
but
Okay.
we made it work.
Okay, good.
What are we in for?
This is a fairly big topic, but I think it's one that it's good that we go over. And so, if you go to our website, you'll see at the top of the website there's a picture of two sports cars. There's an 8.6 and there's a Skyline R33 GTR.
Yep.
Two of my favorite cars. We put those on there because we like modified cars, 90s Japanese cars, or in that case 80s Japanese cars for the 8.6. And a lot of our customers do too. There's a ton of interest for the 90s Japanese cars or sports cars from Japan. So people come to us saying, hey, I want a Skyline, an RX-7, I want a Sylvia. And the thing is, a lot of these cars are getting harder to buy because all of these cars over the years have been popular chassis to modify. And so these cars, we get buyers who are like, look at this sweet car. It's got the big wheels. It's got a wing on the back. It's so cool. Can I buy it? But they don't know what they're getting into when they're looking to buy these modified cars. And so let's discuss through many notes that I've got on my piece of paper about the challenges of buying these types of cars. I don't think it's a bad idea at all to buy these cars, but I think it's important to know what the challenges are before you get into them, because so that you know what risk that you're signing yourself up for.
Yeah.
And of course, we try to explain this to the customers on a one-on-one basis, but I'm sure some of the people watching now will eventually become our customers and therefore maybe want to think about this information before they go ahead and sign up with us.
Yep.
Okay, so first off, what would be considered a modified car in this context? And so I've got some samples and we're going to show them on the screen here. But Mike, why don't you read the notes so it doesn't sound like I'm doing all of the speaking here?
Okay, so for a car to be modified, or what we would consider a modified car, it would be something with maybe a swapped turbo, aftermarket ECU, maybe drift modifications like an aftermarket LSD, front knuckles, a car that had lowered suspension. Sometimes that means changing over to air suspension, cracking aftermarket aero, mismatched wheels, wide fenders, and or a lot of notes on the auction sheet. Usually if sellers have modified cars, they will list them all out. Not all, I shouldn't say all. They will list the modifications that they think will bring extra value to the vehicle. So if it has an HKS turbo, for example, they will list that it has an HKS turbo because they want people to pay more money for that. Does that end up working? Do they end up getting more money? Not always, but
I'm trying to get the mouse here. Where are we at?
you gotta go
Wait a
all the way
second.
left, I think.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Don't just click stuff.
Max said
would be
wait a
like-
second, so
You want to have the website up, right?
yeah.
Oh, that was
You
just
good?
to show
There you
the
go.
pictures.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. So while you're talking, I'm just going to bring up this next one. This is the right tab, Max?
Yeah. And I will say the reason that people modify a lot of these cars or these popular cars is because it's either like circuit use or drifting. Or, I mean, there is also people that just want to have a cool looking car to cruise around in. That's fine too. But,
Right. So I've got 3 examples. There's this one and then there's the next 2. And all 3 of them,
am I looking at a Sylvia?
well, a 180
Was I looking at a Sylvia?
and a 180 and a 180.
Why so many 180s, Derek?
So I just needed some examples of them, and they needed to be non-USS cars. And I thought the 180, 90% of them are like this.
Yeah.
They're all somebody's ex-drift car. They all look awesome in the auction pictures, and they make you want to buy them. Then you look at the sheet, and this here is the key. Now, you know how we said that they're going to have lots of notes on the auction sheet? This is full of notes. There's barely any white space on this. This means that, so this section here that you can see, this is the notes from the seller, the sales points. Some more notes from the seller. And this is usually a list of all of the modifications on the car. A highly modified car will have lots of modifications. That's how you can tell without being able to read Japanese. Like, sure, you can't read that this one has an Apex computer on it with the Power FC Commander. Aftermarket 17-inch wheels, fronts and backs are different. I wrote a note about that specifically, front and back wheels being different.
Yeah. It usually means it was a drift car because your rear tires wear out a lot quicker than your fronts. So, or they have, I think, I'm not a drifter, I don't know for sure, but you have wider rear tires too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sometimes. And then they took up so much space that actually, you'll look at the handwriting here, they had to write in the report section more of the modifications. And then the person who wrote the report had to write teeny tiny little writing because they looked at the car and they were like, this thing is a trash heap.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of notes I have to be writing here. And so I'm going to have to write in a very small amount, small writing.
A quick little trick there, if you're looking at a car like this, those notes at the bottom, those are inspector notes. They're not going to write anything good in that section. It's these are damages or defects or problems that they've found. So if you see a car and you're just glancing over the sheet for a quick check, if you see a lot there, it means there's a lot of concerns. Not always bad things. Like, it might just be, the interior is dirty, which is common. Like, some of these cars aren't cleaned before they go to auction. So it's not always bad. It's just a good starting point where you're like, oh, a lot of notes. I'm in for some concerns here. Right.
And this one is pretty bad. Just to give you an idea, the first thing that I saw is right down here. It says underside has corrosion holes. There's no plural in the Japanese language, so corrosion hole or corrosion holes. It would be the same comment there. It's got a bunch of other pretty nasty things on it. Aftermarket computer, and it doesn't run properly as a result. Dashboard's cracked, core support's been replaced. It's pretty weak. But the key here, because you can't read the Japanese most likely, is that if it's got lots of comments here and here, it might still be okay. If it's got tons of comments in this section, the report section, well, it's probably pretty weak, just like what Mike said. Okay. So on to the next thing. Cars, specific types of cars to watch out for, and we could add a lot to this list, but RX-7?
Yep.
Skylines?
I'm glad you put that first, because RX-7s are the number one. And before I say anything more, I love the RX-7.
Mm-hmm,
I wish I could own one.
Me too.
I want one. They're fantastic. I love when they have massive explosions out the exhaust. I'm sold on them. However, I don't want to own one. I want to have one and have it be looked after for me.
I would love to own one, but not one that has been heavily modified, especially the big turbo RX-7s.
That is the precise one I want.
Have you driven one with a big turbo?
Yeah.
Really? And you liked it?
Yeah.
Yikes. Other ones: Skyline, Silvia, 180SX, Chaser, Mark II, Cresta, Lancer Evolution, Civic, Integra, yeah. All of your favorite cars, all of your Fast and Furious cars. These cars have been out and about for anywhere from 20 years to 30 years. And because they're popular chassis to modify, people have had lots of time to modify these cars. And so what are the risks? These are the key points that you need to watch out for. And so pay attention to these. The first one, I'm going to say what they are, and then you give your 2 bits.
Okay, with sure. That? Yeah, I'll add anything if I have.
Owners sell these cars once the cars are used up and at the end of their life. Otherwise, they'll continue enjoying the car that they've put a lot of money into.
Yep. Grant, I think one of the things that Grant mentioned that stuck with me is when he had his Starlet, he bought a bunch of aftermarket parts, but he never got around to installing all of them. He did like a few, and then I think right before he sold the car, he did a lot more, and it changed the car, and he said he just wished that he had done the modifications earlier so he could have enjoyed them. Like, he spent the money and didn't install them, and all of the niceness that you get from aftermarket parts comes from enjoying them. So... yeah.
You know what I just thought too? Sometimes people buy aftermarket parts for their car and then end up not liking what it does to your car.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Most people
Yeah.
who are just getting into modifying, they don't know what they will like. A great example for that is the aftermarket clutches. People think, oh, my clutch is blown. Let's go with an aftermarket one. And then it makes your driving experience worse on a daily basis.
Yeah, they're loud, they're heavy.
Yeah.
Jerky.
Next one. You ready for this?
So on that point, I wanted to say that you wouldn't sell a car if you wouldn't sell a car right after you modified it. It would be a long time afterwards when they're used up. No longer the same car.
These cars often need repairs before shipping.
Yes, can confirm. We have a lot of customers who like these cars, and we always warn them that there are certain things that are like red flags to us that are very highly likely to cause issues before shipping. For those of you who don't know, the vehicle must be safely drivable under its own power to be shipped via Ro-Ro. Otherwise, it's rejected by the shipping companies.
Can't be leaking any fluids.
Right.
Can't have sharp or broken things on the front or the rear, like a front bumper that has been broken and a piece of it's come off.
Yeah.
And often prevent shipping.
Yeah. If it's stalling every minute or so.
Like X-Drift cars are always.
Yeah.
See, and let me just go into more details about that. Drifters want to drift their car. They don't want to spend money on the car unless it helps them have more track time. Yeah. And so there are street cars that can be drifted, but if it's an actual drift car that its sole purpose is drifting, like a missile car, those cars are on their very, very last legs by the time that they make it to auction.
Yeah. Which ties in perfectly to your next point is who modified the car and what did they do?
Oh, wait, it's my turn to say that, and then you give the notes on it, okay? So who modified the car, and what did they do?
Right. I think what you just said about drifters is kind of telling. And this is not to knock drifters. Like,
yeah, it is.
No, it's. I mean,
you're not going to knock drifters. I am.
Okay, so when we're at the track and we're racing and something breaks, we need to repair it then and there to get back out on the track, right? You've paid for your track time.
Right.
This is your day to do track whatever. So drifters is the same, right? You crash your car into a wall or something. You need to do that repair on the track, or if you can, as quickly as possible, so you get back out there and get back to drifting.
Right.
I've seen videos where people are hammering out panels with a block of wood. I don't know if those cars are then taken back and the proper repair is done. I think because we buy those cars and we see that like those panels, right? Like these are the kind of cars you might be buying at auction, and if you see that the rear panel is dented, was it dented because it was in a small accident and then taken to a body shop to be repaired, or was it repaired trackside?
And to further that, like you're buying a modified car because you want a modified car, which. No hate against modified cars. We all like modified cars a lot. Yeah. But when you're buying somebody else's project car or modified car, you have no idea what you're getting into and what little hack jobs have been done and what needs to be redone. And that can get you into trouble. If you bought the car from stock and you modified it yourself and you've done little workarounds on it or whatever, you know what those workarounds are. If someone else has done those little workarounds, you're getting into something not knowing what is going to happen, what has happened to the car.
And that can trip you up later, especially if it's wiring things. Like weird wiring things. Like Isaiah was able to fix a 180 SX that we had because he just chased all the wires and then found that one of them was like a bad ground or something, but the car just wouldn't start. Just completely done. So thankful to him.
Even with my car, I looked at all the fuse boxes. Every cable that has power has a little like thief for electricity on it, and they just snipped off the stuff that they took out at some point.
Yeah. And your car looks amazing too, so that's
and I wouldn't consider yours to be one of these trouble modified cars, right?
Not at all, no.
Yours, other than the LSD in the back, that was on our list.
Yeah.
That's the only, and you didn't know that. The auction sheet didn't mention the LSD. Or did it?
No, it didn't. We didn't know that. It just came in the documents.
And an aftermarket LSD, not a stock one. So it was one of those LSDs.
Right.
Yeah. Many of the cars are older, and old cars themselves have troubles. And a lot of people don't give enough credit for that.
Yeah.
Once a car's 20 years old, you're doing regular repairs on it.
Yeah. I mean, in
To
the
begin
US, I think 20 years is classic, right? Or is it 25?
25, I think, in the US.
So that's all cars that are US legal to import are classic cars now. It's just something to keep in mind. Again, like it's not a dig at any of these cars. It's just this is what you're getting yourself into. Like Max's car was fine, didn't look that modified, but it is a bit older. So
yeah, born to modify, forced to maintain.
And
yeah,
how long have you had that car for now, Max?
We're coming up on 2 years now.
Okay, and then when did you feel like you finally got that car in a good state? How long did it take
going.
you?
Week.
Yeah.
And you've been working on it constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like
Max is
doing little
meticulous.
tweaks here and there.
He wants his car to be really
he's German.
nice.
Yeah. It's my nationality. Yeah, just that. Yeah.
Max is German, so
they only have one type of person in Germany.
Yeah.
And then that last point there, the mini cars are older. Modified parts aren't meant to last the same length of time as OEM parts are. An OEM part is probably going to last you between 10 and 20 years, sometimes a little bit longer. Many of the aftermarket parts have a lifespan that is 5 years or something like that. This is especially aero parts on the car. Wide fenders or something like that, or especially blended in wide fenders. Those go bad quickly. And now you've got regular car maintenance plus your modification maintenance. So you're asking for more maintenance in your car.
Yeah.
Auction inspections can't be deep enough to tell all the details.
Let's go back to that. Wait. No, I got it. No.
Okay, now you can go.
Whee! Sorry, Max. Whoa.
That one definitely has like trackside repairs after the accident.
Yeah, I think this is a nice example to go over. So about the body kit, like you can tell that this is an aftermarket body kit.
Yeah.
What was the note there? Can't tell all the details. I think I had the thought when you mentioned aftermarket body kits, like they're always like flopping around and flimsy, like they're not attached in the same way as the stock body panels were, where they connect to like the under tray or something. Like I would be willing to bet money that there's no under tray on that car because it doesn't fit with the bumpers anymore.
I like that bumper though.
Yeah, it looks cool, but it needs like it doesn't look like it fits quite right. Like there's a little point here.
It's probably the 7th or 8th bumper they put on that car.
Yeah, onto panels which are already dented and moved from their original place. And the aftermarket bumpers need cutting and modifications to fit usually anyway. So that's what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and the auction inspectors, like, they probably take about 5 to 7 minutes to inspect a car.
Yeah.
They need to run, like, the auction, USS Tokyo has 15,000 cars every week.
Yeah.
And these inspections are done real quick. And on a nice grade 4 auction car, it's very easy for them to take their time and find all of the meticulous details. When the car has so many problems, there's a good chance that there's something on there that's missed. Yeah. Just because they're like... Everyone knows their job and those things that annoy them at their job, right? All of you guys that are watching have something at work that annoys you. The inspectors probably see a car come in like this and they're like, here we go again.
Yeah.
And they're probably timed for the amount of time they do per car. And so they need to get through it quickly. And so there's just a higher chance. And people don't take this into consideration. There's a higher chance of there being something missed on a car that's in bad condition. Yeah. There just is.
I would like to throw in a question from the chat at this point.
Yeah.
Because I think it might be interesting to answer. Sadida question.
Sadida.
Can you explain what recourse we as buyers have if an auction car turns out to be a lemon?
Well, if you're buying a modified car, you should know what you're getting into beforehand.
I think that is the best advice. Like, a lot of people feel like, I'm going to buy a car, I'm expecting a level of car, and when their expectations are not met, they feel like they've got a lemon. But actually, it's more a case of or you're setting your expectations too high, or your expectations not matching the car. I feel like if you buy this 180 SX, for example, and you expect it to be a great car, I would say that's your problem right there.
Right.
Sorry to interrupt. You were on.
No, I think that you explained that very well, Mike.
Oh,
Mike
I
Dennis
can keep going.
From PacificCoastAuto.com.
That's not the website URL. I don't think.
No.
Okay. I'll go in. I want to go into a little bit more detail because this is something that trips a lot of people up. so having a look at this car, I don't think many people would think, okay, this is going to be a great car. But if you read all of the notes here and you understand everything, you expect, okay, that's what I'm getting myself into. And then what Derek is saying is because the inspectors can't catch all of those notes, if then there's something else that's wrong with the vehicle that wasn't listed on the sheet, to us, we would be like, of course, like, this is a highly modified car. It's got a lot of problems. Expect there to be more problems that weren't caught by the auction inspector because they don't have enough time to inspect the car. So,
right.
And then to answer that person's question, there is very little recourse at the auctions, almost ever. There's some caveats to that. The main ones being the mileage. This one says unknown mileage. That means there's been a history of the vehicle having lower mileage than it has right now. Higher mileage than it has right now. Yeah. If this little star here, which means unknown mileage, if that was not present, and then you found out later on that the vehicle had higher mileage than it's actually claimed at auction, that is something that could be claimable. Mileage is one of the big things. What are some of the other ones?
Things that are claimable? Accident damage that wasn't known?
Not on older cars, though.
Right. It can be a little bit tricky to prove, too, because there is no like central database that says that the car is in an accident. There's only private databases that the auction checks before it goes in. But sometimes something might be considered an accident in one case and not in the other. Yeah.
I would say if you see that, don't count on it. The auction treats older cars like this, especially 25-year-old cars, but it's really even from 15 years and older. They consider these cars as very old. Like in Japan, what's the average time people keep their cars?
6 years.
Yeah. Whereas the US and the Western world is like 10 or 15.
No, it's above that. I think 16.
Wow, that's a lot.
The numbers change. So it'll be different now, but the last time I checked, it was 16.
Right.
And some of the repairs are done DIY. We already got into that. I don't want to spend too much more time on this because we are running a little bit behind, but it makes it sound like you're an idiot to buy one of these cars, and you're absolutely not. You just need to know what you're getting into before you get into it. And are all these modified cars bad? Absolutely not. There are some of them. We're just explaining the risks.
Right.
And so if you know the risks and you're okay with these risks and you get the car, then we're happy. If you don't know about these risks and you buy the car expecting it to be good, just like you said, Mike, you're in for a bad time. If the car has some of these modifications but not very many, and the car is still driven on the street, there's a better chance that it is in good condition. And buying a pre-modified car can have some benefits, especially if you are a pro with that car in particular, or you're a pro at modified cars, or you have a great shop that you work with. You can get these cars that have like $100,000, and we did this 2 shows ago with that MRS, right? $100,000 of modifications on the car, and you can buy the car for $40,000 perhaps. Yeah. And so for somebody who knows the ins and outs of these, this can be a treasure trove of wonderful cars. You just need to be a little bit careful.
And sometimes very like highly desirable aftermarket parts too, you know, that
are only available in Japan.
Right. Special body kit wasn't sold outside of Japan, the best body kit that many people think, and that's the way to get it.
Right.
Because shipping a body kit is not cheap.
And it's fun. Modified cars are fun.
Yeah.
If you can get into the space and you know the ins and outs of it, so many crazy and cool modified cars in Japan.
Like that MRS. Like we bought an show car RX-7 for a customer. That was awesome.
Which one was that?
The scissor doors that we had to drive back.
Geez.
Okay, actually, that's a pretty good example.
The one that will literally kill you.
Right. So, like, this was an ex-demo car from a famous company, and it had these electronic scissor doors that were the slowest doors I've ever seen in my life.
And the battery would go dead on the car for mysterious reasons because the huge aftermarket stereo in it had some sort of energy leak. And so you can be sitting in the car, turn it off, and then just go, oh, what's that message on my phone? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I just spent 5 minutes in the car. Now I'm inside and there's no way to get out because the doors are electronic. And it's hot today.
And you're stuck. And we had to go to the auction to pick up that car because the driver's company wouldn't drive it because it was too risky or it was too low or too dangerous. I think it had air suspension. And it's just this thing. I think the main point of all of this is we want to try to warn you to just be careful when you're buying modified cars. Yes, they're awesome. Yes, they're cool. Yes, we all want them, but they can cause other issues that eyes wide open before you buy them.
We are 10 minutes late on our schedule.
Sorry,
you guys got more information than you bargained for.
Talk too much.
What's the next segment, Sexy Mike?
We are going to try to sell each other. I like that nickname. The only person in my life to have ever called me that. Maybe a little sad.
I'm sorry. They say men don't get enough compliments, and so I'll just make sure that I call you Sexy Mike at all times from now on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We got some auction picks and some dealer picks for you.
Okay, so let's burn through these. This first one, I don't want to spend too much time on it. This is, without a doubt, and I've spent some time thinking about it, this is my all-time favorite car.
Okay, I used Wet Dream, but go ahead.
My all-time favorite car. I'm just going to... This is the one that I'm trying to sell to you.
No, you're not. You're trying to sell this to yourself.
Which really, I'm selling it to myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is not only my favorite car. So this is a Sprinter Trudeau. This is 2 generations before the A86. This is where the magic started. You got, in Japan, a fantastic twin cam, twin carb, side draft, rear wheel drive, 850 kilogram car. Stock horsepower was 120. The perfect amount for that weight, I think. The person who owned this previously did not agree with that. And so he did plenty of modifications, and it likely has over 200 horsepower at the wheels now.
How?
Yeah. Do you want to buy it, Mike? Using 1960s technology.
Wow.
You see that TRD on the auction sheet? TRD, and this is this is going to wet your trousers.
304.
TRD 304 duration camshafts. Do you know what that means?
Tell me.
A camshaft has 360 degrees when it goes around.
So this is missing 56 degrees.
For 304 degrees, your valves are open. Now, they don't say if it's an intake or exhaust on that. But when you do that, you get more power. You also get a car that doesn't want to idle properly. And so you know those old muscle cars that would like shake at idle?
I love it.
This thing's going to do that. So normally it comes with a 1600cc. It has been stroked up and bored up to 2 liters.
Wow.
The carburetors have been moved from a 41 millimeter per cylinder to a 45.
ITBs?
Of course, ITBs from factory.
Yeah.
It's got ITBs.
Sorry, I'm
factory
hoping you sell
ITBs.
this.
Everyone loves ITBs. We had them in the 70s. Yeah. And all the sports cars had ITBs.
Yeah.
Because they were carbureted.
It's even got an LSD.
Not
That's
all the
gotta be
sports
pretty
cars
rare.
had it. It was still pretty special. And coming from a Japanese company, this was, I think, the second ever ITB car from Toyota
Wow.
that they made. The first one being the 2000 GT.
If you like this car so much, why don't you buy one?
Because it's going to be expensive. The starting price is $3.5 million. You can buy this right now too, and if you buy it, please let me drive this car.
It would be sweet.
Just make sure I got all of this.
I kind of want to do like a comparison because we just talked about highly modified cars.
H-beam rods. Sorry to cut you off, but H-beam rods.
I know. And now I want to say what Derek's doing is what we all do when we look at modified cars.
The transmission from Tom's.
Right.
So cool.
What a nice guy.
Holy.
LSD in the rear, reinforced oil pump, upgraded rear leaf springs. Yes, these had leaf springs in the rear. AE86 front strut conversion.
Ooh.
I don't actually know what you gain from that. And potentially 200 horsepower or more would be a hell of a ride. That comes from Grant, our resident car searching guy who finds these cars for us. What were you going to say before I so rudely cut off Sexy Mike?
No, you actually helped prove the point. Like, it's so difficult when you find these cars and you're like, that's it. That's the one I want. And then I look at the sheet and I'm like, uh-oh. But you could kind of go, never mind that. Let me focus and look up here.
Especially on a 50-year-old car.
Yeah.
You're making compromises on a 50-year-old car.
I think compromises.
Oh my God,
is
the car looks
thing.
good. It's got the Sprinter front end, so usually people like the 11 front ends on these, but it's got the Sprinter front end. So compared to the other TE27s, this one has a unique look because it's got that painted grille. They didn't make as many of the Sprinters, and it's a late model. Very cool. Stock fender mirrors. Those are the stock mirrors on it.
All right, Derek's sold. Derek just sold himself on his own.
I got to stop talking. Show me your car.
All right.
I'm sorry,
what have I got
but
you?
you're going to have a tough time selling me on the next car. But.
No, it's not going to work. So instead, how about I try to sell the viewers? This is... Okay, look. Listen.
I want this.
Before...
Stop. Look. Listen.
Wait a second. I need to just get you ready for this. It doesn't look as nice as Derek's car that he just
Probably
offered you.
fewer corrosion holes, honestly.
But that's the point. This is designed to go into the bush, into the forest, into the mud, wherever you want to go. This little thing will go with you.
And I notice a winch on the front, and so it will get you out of any problems. Do you think the winch can pick up the Jimny?
I think you could probably hang this Jimny from a tree, yeah.
Right, so just winch up and then climb a tree?
Yeah. You have to be like a big Canadian tree.
Because it probably only weighs, what do these weigh, 1,000 kilos?
Let me sell you on a monkey. A tree climber. This is a tree climber. It's got a big old light bar at the front. It's got an exoskeleton. I don't know how well that was made. I want to say it was pretty good.
It doesn't matter. Even if it bends a little bit, it creates credibility. If you've got an exoskeleton and you've got dings and dents in the exoskeleton, men and some women will say, yes, please. They'll be like, I know that this is being on it. You see those cars with the sticker that's upside down. It's like, if you can read this, turn the car over.
I've never seen that, but that's really fun.
That's cool. But much cooler if there's already damage on the car because you didn't put that sticker on just because you think it's cool. It's like, this is instruction manual now.
Yeah. This is purposeful. I think the coolest thing about these Jimneys is they have to go off-road. We got rescued by one when we were in the BB.
We got rescued by multiple.
Actually, we got rescued by a tribe of Jimneys.
That was so funny. Around the corner comes a Jimny, and we're like, yeah, whatever. Following like 10 other Jimneys. The Jimny Brigade.
Yeah. And they were so happy to be in their Jimneys out off-roading and then saving us. We actually felt like an inconvenience at the time, I think.
But they were proud.
Then Derek mentioned, and he was like, this is like, that's their wet dream. They're like, I have the Jimny. I go off-roading all the time. I'm going to save these newbies who are in a Toyota BB, which is front-wheel drive for some reason.
With no locking
stuck in a lake. And
Jimneys, like if you run in a Jimny tribe, right?
Yeah.
They never get stuck. No. And so they never get a chance to save anybody. Right. They hope their friends get stuck, and they're like, oh, I got the Jimny.
Yeah. I gotta get a friend with a BB. Get him to go.
Gotta get an idiot friend.
Yeah. Anyway, this is in kind of rough condition, but it's awesome. Sorry, Max, you took the mouse. You are in.
Okay, I got something for you, Mike. Yeah. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So this one's not at auction. This is a dealer car. I don't expect any of our viewers to be buying one of these because they only started making them a year ago. This is the title card of this video. It's $135,000 US for this minivan.
I need
a minivan made by Lexus. Now, if you guys know the Toyota Alphard, this is the very, very popular minivan in most of Asia. They don't sell it in They don't sell it in North America. I don't know about Europe. Excellent minivan. Lexus decided to make an upgraded version, and then they decided to make an upgraded version called the Executive version.
So what's the full name for this? Does it have like a tongue twisted name?
It's an LM500H is the name of this Lexus minivan. But here's the thing. People buy minivans so that they can fit a ton of kids in them or a ton of friends or a ton of whatever. But this one is the opposite. Let's see a picture of the interior.
Easy.
Max, see if you can pull that up.
This is also called the Executive.
I already said that,
Max.
Sorry to call you out. Okay, show the interior. This version of it, the Executive version, only has 4 seats. It's got the 2 in the front, and then the entire back of the van is just 2 seats. And the reason why they do that is because this is for driving celebrities around. It has
K-pop stars.
Yep, and J-pop stars.
And W-pop stars.
What's that?
Western pop.
Okay.
I don't know.
If they're in Japan, they might be driven around in this, honestly, if there's not too many. I got to read this all off. There's so much crazy stuff in here. So only made for Japan and other Asian countries. This is actually the 2nd generation of this. Okay. The previous generation was only sold in China.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Okay. Retails for 20 million yen. Only a 4-seater. It has a partition that is sound deadened between the front and the rear. From factory.
Oh, you got to find a picture of that. It's like the limousine thing,
yeah.
right?
Let's go to the pictures. Go to the pictures. So it's got a partition. This partition has the electro-opaque function. So you can press a button and then you can't see through it. And press a button and you can see through it.
Cool. So this is, and it's,
from factory.
It's controlled by the passenger, right? So the driver's like, you get in an Uber or something and the driver's talking too much. You're like, bye, driver.
Yeah.
And then
if you've got kids and they don't want to hear from you.
Oh, yeah.
Or you don't want to hear from them.
I was going to say, I hope this controls from the front. Man,
Okay,
if you're a kid
there it
writing
is.
it,
Yeah.
oh,
So
that's
there's
cool.
in the clouded form, and there's in the seeable form. You can also
Why-
retract it.
So, what kind of usefulness would be a clouded form for the rear of this vehicle?
It's an executive vehicle. Like,
It's making a joke. Could
oh,
be used for
so sorry. I'm so excited
video.
about it. It has
keep going.
the largest TV screen ever in a production car at 48 inches.
Jeez.
That's
It's
not
that
it.
one.
No, but that is pretty big for a dashboard
It's at
one.
the front.
The TV is this weird rectangular TV that is super wide, and you can
Oh,
use it
yeah.
as one screen. See if you can find a picture of that.
It's this, right?
There it is.
Yeah.
You can use it as
Oh.
one screen, or you can set it up to have two screens, each showing their own thing on it. Okay?
Oh, so that means like one person can watch one side and the other person could watch.
Yeah.
Man, that
Their own
is-
things with their own set of
pretty
headphones,
cool.
you know.
Yeah.
And other than this car, this one's 48 inches, right? The biggest outside of this is a BMW with 31 inch. And so it's no
Take that,
contest.
BMW. Lexus, gotcha.
BMW, you idiots.
Yeah, we made a minivan so we could pick the biggest TV.
Of course, it has HDMI in, so you can put anything that you want onto that screen. The controls for
Anything that you
everything inside of the car is on a smartphone-like touch screen that you have two of them, one for each seat. There they are.
Oh,
you can
gosh.
you can remove those from their holders, and they capacitively charge. And I believe you can use this mount for your own phone to capacitively charge it as well.
Wow.
Okay, so this controls everything such as your AC, your seat position, all of that sort of thing. Okay, so the person in the front can even hold these and
Yeah.
control things if they want. It has a fridge, and the fridge is
course.
designed to hold 3 750 millimeter
Bottles of
champagne
Yeah,
bottles.
I knew it.
Not wine bottles. They said in the PR, only champagne bottles are good enough for this.
Wow. I was just about to say champagne bottles. I knew it. That's their clientele.
That's not the fridge. That's just that's the fridge there, and then you have a personal glove box on either side of that. Okay.
Of course you do.
The rear seats are of course heated and cooled. The armrests are also heated,
Okay. I would
right? Because you don't want to have a cold armrest.
Yes.
There are rear tables that flip out. I don't know if you'll be able to find the picture in time for that, but there are little rear tables that have multi-functions, so you can move where the table is, and you can't tilt the table, I don't think, but it is still cool.
Do you have to stow the tray in the upright position while driving?
No. You can do whatever you want because this is your car and you deserve it because it's $135,000 to begin
do
with.
whatever
You
you
can upgrade it to be more expensive too if you want.
Oh, that's the base price?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has I know, but I got to talk about this. Max is telling me the time. We're going to have to go over because this is
There's not
exciting.
enough time to explain all the executiveness.
Rear seat relaxation function that
massages,
squeezes you with air bladders in the seats. Okay. Umbrella in the door jamb.
Oh, Rolls Royce, take that.
Yeah. Okay. Climate concierge, which customizes your experience in one of 4 ways. So you set your climate in there. This sets the seat and the AC to do special things to you because you're an executive. The only one I wanted to mention is the one called Energize. And what this does is when you are feeling a little bit sleepy, you can turn on the Energize function, and this puts your seat heaters on and then turns your seat heaters off, and then turns your seat heaters on, and then turns them off, and cycles through this for whatever amount of time, because apparently this stimulates your body, and then it uses creative lighting to
It's
make
gonna
an
strobe.
invigorating, this is the real words they use, invigorating atmosphere. So it pulsates your seats and does some sort of lighting thing. So
Gives you a seizure.
Wow.
And you're like, I'm so
ready to
awake.
work.
I'm so awake with my photogenic seizure.
Marketing.
Yeah. Got him.
That's basically all I had to say about this. I think it is insane. I've sat in one at auction. I just had to.
Yeah.
The paint on the car is like no paint I've ever seen before. It looks so deep. Almost like the paint is a centimeter deep. It's weird. I haven't seen other cars that really do that. And
I think the thing you mentioned when you sat
looks
in
stupid.
that is the sound system.
Oh, Mark Levinson makes the sound system, and I didn't read this in the PR, but I believe that it's true. I don't think that they just threw the speakers in there. I think Mark Levinson was given the exoskeleton of the car and were able to create all of the surroundings for the speakers, like the back boxes,
Right.
where the speakers go specifically, so that it gives you a unique sound to it.
Right.
I have never, like
directing all the audio as well,
right.
right? To make sure.
I care very much about the audio in a car, and you just for granted think that the car audio is going to suck, because most of them do, even the Mark Levinson ones in most cars. This one is not the same. It is fantastic. It seems like you're in a specific room just made for audio, and that this room can also travel around.
So if you would like to buy a moving lounge, you can for the low price of $135,000.
I'm so sorry. I've ruined this live stream because
I think it's quite fun.
I
How about the
I have
chat
pretty
can
bad
tell us if it's
ADHD,
fun or not.
and I'll just go on forever when I find something that I like. I think that the car that you picked next.
This would be great for my dogs. Yeah, if you had those little Gucci handbag dogs, maybe.
EF7 and PP1 says, doesn't the Pulsar GTI-R also have an umbrella holder in the door jam? Yes, it does.
Oh, that's
the Pulsar GTI-R. Yeah, open the door and whoop, umbrella.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So who did it better?
Probably this,
Nissan
honestly.
or Rolls-Royce? Or
Next one.
Lexus.
Toyota.
Okay,
Lexus.
Next one. I'll burn through mine really quickly.
Yours
It's
is
just
so cool.
I want this for myself.
Does anyone in the chat know what this is?
Oh, I think I might have gave it away at the beginning. If you rember what I said at the beginning.
You did say at the beginning what it is, but
first person to write what this
it is
car
not
is.
an AC Cobra.
If people can read Japanese, they can read what's below.
Yeah. All right, time's up. It's a cappuccino.
Suzuki Cappuccino, which is a little two-door Roadster K car, 660cc engine, right?
Yeah, that's right.
People asked if it's a Factory 5.
It is not a factory. So Factory 5 is a company that makes like, what are they called? Like custom. It's a custom car, but
What
it's
are
a
they? Kit cars?
yeah.
Kit cars?
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Factory 5 makes kit cars, but this one here is teeny tiny compared to the actual one. It's probably 75% the size, and it's gonna look goofy.
No, it's gonna look awesome. Look at the fucking exhausts. Oh, look at that. I bet those are
what did
fake.
you call the exhausts?
I said, look at those fantastic exhausts. Come on, don't ruin my PG-ness.
You're ruining our PG-ness.
So the exhaust. Wait, is it on one side or is it on both?
Yeah, 4-cylinder, one pipe per cylinder. Oh
But it's a
no!
3-cylinder.
Yeah,
It's a 3-cylinder.
They cheating. They cheating.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's not actually the exhaust.
Yeah, I think
If it's
so
just there
too.
for looks.
I think a lot of these cars, you go for the image. But man, if one of these came through auction, you'd have to keep me away from that bid button.
It is incredibly cool. This would get probably more looks than a real Cobra, honestly, because people would be scratching their heads like, what is going on with that?
Look at that. Is that the trunk?
That is the trunk, yeah.
Including the frame. So yes, this isn't just body kit on a Cappuccino. It is Cappuccino running gear that has been put onto a custom frame.
Yeah. It is literally a Choro Q Shelby Cobra. Yeah.
And there's the teeny tiny little engine. You want to do an engine swap?
Pick it up. Take it up. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. What's the price?
6 million yen.
Oh, geez, it is.
Yeah.
Less than 10% tax.
Yeah.
Right?
So not cheap, but with
One
the
of
amount
30.
of customs. Oh, wow.
One of 30 ever made.
Ooh, competition baby Cobra.
That is so fun.
Cute.
Yeah.
1965 World Manufacturers Champions. Wait, is that 1965?
I think that they're just going off of the Cobras.
Okay.
Yeah, Cappuccino was 91.
Yeah, I was like, how does this work? Is the company since 1965? I don't know if I like the taillights. I don't know if those are the Cobra taillights.
They look like Cobra taillights.
Okay.
But people in the chat love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm with Denzo. I need one too. I don't fit in the normal Cappuccino very well, so I would hope there's a little more space. Oh, look at that hood! They have a hood scoop for no reason. But it's cool.
Not for no reason, for cool looks.
Yeah.
What do you think of the color?
I don't know if it's a Cobra color, but I like yellow.
I'm a little
It just
surprised
looks so
they didn't
cool.
paint it in the metallic blue that you always see Cobras.
That's a bit weird. It's got a Cobra powered by Ford.
Oh, also it says 50 as the chassis number? which is a little bit weird because the
Yeah.
listing says 1 of 30.
People also ask in the comment if you can actually import that into the US.
So this is maybe a little bit of a interesting question. It says it's a 2015.
Oh.
The seller says that.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to buy this, because yes, all cappuccinos now, I believe, are legal for the USA. So if it still has the registration stating the original date, then it would be importable. If it has a new registration for 2015, like the seller says, then we wouldn't be able to.
Right.
If they also you can't import stuff that is obviously faking to be something it isn't.
Oh, that was with the VW bus K-truck thing.
Yeah.
I think more like the Defender thing. So people were buying Land Rover Defenders and putting a newer Defender on an older chassis and then calling it an old Defender. And then they were loopholing. So yes, if there's been significant modifications, then you might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they would catch this because it just looks like a modified old car.
Yeah, but it also looks like something that is very American, but it is not. So there, I don't know. I think
what you were saying is pretty interesting. Yes, if you have a Volkswagen badge on a K-truck that's been converted to look like a Volkswagen microbus, copyright comes into play with that because it looks like you're importing a copyright car.
Yeah.
It's a little BS, but yeah, in this case here, you might run into that too. It might be a good idea to cover up those Shelby badges.
Yeah. I think that the reason for those VW buses was because VW got involved. I don't know if...
I think it's just customs broker, not customs,
Yeah,
customs in the USA looking for reasons to justify their careers.
I so hope that exhaust works. I
Right?
hope there's 3
I
tubes.
hope it
Like you
sounds really loud.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
No, the F6A can sound really nice.
Yeah.
A Cobra at like 12,000 RPM.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right. That engine revs to, from factory, 9,000 something, 9,500, 9,800.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry
that was
to
fun.
Mike. I'm sorry to Max. We went over. We'll still do some time for Q&A. Our show will go over as it usually does. So Q&A. Oh,
Wait, maybe that's why the view time, the watch time's going up. We keep going over time. Oops.
Average view duration 11 minutes. Not as good as the last one. Come on, guys. Actually,
Watch for longer than we've been on. I don't know.
even if we're not interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the
Q&A.
next section?
Q&A.
Reverb?
Some questions.
Burning
from the last
questions
time.
and
Alright.
desires.
You
No,
got them
just-
on your sheet, actually.
But Max, you read out the Q&A questions.
Okay. I can read them out. So, Grego9198, I think this was 2 live streams ago. If I come to Japan on a work visa, can I use PCA to buy a car at auction to use in Japan?
We've kind of gone back and forth on this one, haven't we? So registering a car here in Japan is a challenge. It is complicated. You need to be a resident here, a registered resident. You need to have a personal stamp. You need to have a registered parking spot and a certificate showing that that is an authentic registered parking spot. You have to go through a process that's complicated, and most people who are coming here on a work visa are not able to do any of this stuff themselves.
Yeah.
And so typically a car dealer is going to set you up with all of this stuff, which is fine. But we're not really a car dealer, we're a car exporter. We know how to do it, but there are a lot of things to jump through, and we're always a little bit hesitant to get into types of
Yeah.
work that is outside of our core business. The reason why we think that we're really good at what we do is because we're very specific about what services that we offer. We know we're good at exporting cars, so you can get good service. We don't know all of the things that could go sideways for registering a car for a customer, or what information they need to know when, and things like that.
Yeah.
So this would lead to probably not as good of a situation as you would like. There are a lot of car exporters here in Japan that specialize in registering cars for foreigners, and I think it's probably it's weird for me to say this, go to somebody else for your business, but you can probably get better service if you do that, and there's not a ton that you're gaining in working with us unless you really like Sexy Mike.
Or
you have some?
Handsome Derek.
I'm okay
Like
with that. Yeah.
I didn't want to be
Anything
sexy.
to
Derek,
add for that?
Yeah, we do it's something
We've
that
done
we've
it.
considered. Yeah, we have done it
we've
for
done
people, and it's something we've considered offering. But honestly, like, it would be what, 5 or 10 people a year potentially.
Fewer than that. It'd be one a year.
Yeah, we have to charge a lot because it's so much different to the export side of things, where we can be efficient by doing higher volumes. So, for example, like what Derek said, to get a parking spot, a lot of the things the customer themselves would have to do, you have to get registered, get your parking spot, get a contract for your parking spot, all of these things, and we can kind of help with that, but I think it would take so much of our time that I think you would get a bad deal, like, for us to be able to do it. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Next question,
Next
Max.
one. Cyborg Customs asked in the last live stream comments, is it true that exporters get a fee paid to them by the Japanese government for selling a car for export?
So I've been doing this for a long time. Before we opened the business 15 years ago, I was studying how to open the business. I have never heard anyone mention this, that exporters get a fee from the Japanese government's paying us
I
to
feel
export
like
the cars.
I feel like that could be information that has been slightly misunderstood, like in terms of like the tax benefit for exporting goods.
I see.
I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of,
Right,
because
but
I don't,
no.
or maybe the recycle ticket, like. But
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like.
It seems like the question is framed as we get some sort of benefit
Right.
from the government for doing what we do as a way of clearing cars out of the market.
Yeah.
But that's not really true.
It doesn't
The
happen.
way that Japan wants the cars to be exported is the registration system called shaken. And then the shaken is difficult and costly. Every 2 years you need to get it. And then this incentivizes people to switch up to a new car. Here in Japan, the interest rates have always been extremely low, and this leads to people getting loans under good terms. And so people just buy a new car when the car is either 3 or 5 or 7 years old. It's
Plus,
very common.
It's important to keep up your image in Japan for a lot of people as well. So having a brand new car is always
Right, that's
like,
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, older car in Japan is not seen as cool here for the most part.
Socially incentivized. Is that a word?
That's good.
If
I don't
not,
know
I
if it
wanna
is,
coin
but
it.
it sounds good.
Okay. I just thought of that right now.
Yeah, I love it. Next question?
Scott James asks, Derek, do you own an NSX?
No. Next
Derek,
question.
do you want to own an NSX?
God, yes.
Oh, right. There you go. Scott.
One of my favorite cars to drive. In terms of pure driving pleasure, I don't think there's many cars that pass the NSX.
Wow.
Damn.
This coming from someone who drives an Elise, which is very close, but I think the NSX is better.
I drove one very briefly for a customer just recently, and boy, oh boy, do they feel special.
And you drove an auto,
Yeah.
an automatic one.
Yeah. And
Which,
I
world of difference.
it's like I only drove it for a few minutes, so it was really just like getting a taste for it, I guess. But yeah, very special. I just don't fit inside. So if you're too big, you don't fit.
Yeah, they
in
are a
an
little
NSX.
tight. They are a little tight. Next question.
From Limerick, 1337. I live in Canada.
Le
My wife-
Mag.
No, it's Lemag Leet.
Limerick. Leet. Yeah, okay. I live in Canada. My wife doesn't like driving sitting on the right. I sometimes see left-hand drive cars coming up on auctions and always wondered if you could find them for a customer, and if so, if there are any certain manufacturers or models that show up.
Yeah, easy question to answer.
I like
So-
the first part. We don't help any of our customers find cars, not usually. So you're the one finding the car, but
Oh, you want me to answer?
yeah.
Okay, so Japanese cars, you're probably not going to find anything that is left-hand drive here in Japan unless it's an imported vehicle from the USA, like an FJ Cruiser or a Sienna. Sienna, right? That's the minivan. Or
What's that Honda? Not the Legend, but the Honda by America or something.
oh, those are so rare.
Yeah.
Honda Accord, Honda of America Accord.
Right. But they were sold here. Yeah.
In the
it's very
80s.
weird.
Yeah, you're not finding one of those anymore. Though here in Japan, it's very popular to drive a left-handed drive car
Yeah.
when it's a German car. People see it as a mark of cachet, I guess, to be driving a left-hand drive car. You'll see this in mostly the higher-end German cars, like the Porsche 911, any of the BMW M cars, AMG Mercedes, Audi RSs. Most of those are going to be left-hand drive. Down model cars you can usually find, but they are a little bit rarer. Most people, for convenience sake, in Japan will want a right-hand drive car. Some of them will want a left-hand drive car, but it's a smaller percent if it's a lower-end model. So if it's the base engine, it might be very rare to find the the left-hand drive version as opposed to the right-hand drive version. And if you are curious, about a specific make or model that you want, you can ask us in an email, and we can tell you how popular those are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chat questions.
Yama Guy asked, and a bunch of people chimed in too.
I hope that's Yamaha guy.
Yama Guy? Just Yama Guy.
Right.
Cool name.
Do we offer services for shipping to Halifax?
I can take this.
You take this because I actually don't know the answer.
Well, so we used to be able to ship to Halifax, and I saw some people, I think Colin might have helped answer this question for that person in the chat as well. We used to be able to ship to Halifax, but there are currently no shipping options to Halifax. It used to be a service that went via Baltimore, and then it was transshipped in Baltimore and went on a vessel to Halifax, but the shipping company has since stopped doing that. It was very expensive to do that, but
70% more than shipping to Westminster.
Very, very expensive. So it usually only made sense if you were very, very far on the east coast of Canada, Nova
like past
Scotia.
Quebec.
Right, yeah. As far as Montreal, it usually worked out more cost effective to ship to New Westminster and then truck it over to
faster and cheaper to do it that way.
Yeah.
And Quebec was the line. So Quebec was it would go either way.
Yeah.
But you would still get the car a little bit faster.
Right.
But then anything Maritimes.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, PEI. I don't know who's importing from PEI. There's 12 people that live there.
Oh. Hello, if you're from PEI.
Labrador.
Sorry, what he said. So currently,
don't be sorry. They're all Anne of Green Gables lovers.
Yeah,
I'm sure that like the vast majority of people who live in PEI are there because of Anne of Green Gables.
I don't know what that is.
Really?
You said that like it's like a common knowledge.
It's very popular in Japan. Tons of people here love it.
What was it?
It's a book about a farm life in PEI, Canada. Yeah.
I'm so surprised I don't know about that.
Some people in the chat, tell me if you've heard of Anne of Green Gables, especially if you're not Canadian.
Right. So your solution in Halifax is shipping into New Westminster in Vancouver, BC, and then having it transported over to you, which is going to be pretty expensive.
Probably about $2,000 for the train and about $2,000 for the shipping. So sorry, no good options. But I did hear that you said you like Yamahas, and I do too. So I'm sorry, but you're cool. What?
I'm sorry, but
next
cool.
question, Max.
That was something that multiple people requested too, and I'm not sure how far we can answer it. What is your opinion or state of knowledge on the USA tariffs?
Oh, this is a bigger question than we can get into.
Yeah,
maybe we could do it
in the question section. This could take a long time.
It also might not happen.
It's also a political thing, and I'm trying to keep this podcast not political at all. But so...
Thank you for the question. No, thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
This question may make us look bad, and so piss off. It has been announced that they desire to make a 25% import tax for vehicles. For vehicles. This is all they've said. They haven't said if it's new vehicles, old vehicles. They haven't said which countries. They think it's going to be all countries. We don't know any of the details. It's just somebody in the USA has said in a tweet or a post on another platform that what?
They want to do something stupid. Maybe. It's a hypothetical. I think it would be better to...
My personal opinion of this, and this is just going... I have spent a lot of time thinking about it. I don't know is the answer to it, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think that the political cost that you have to pay for the increased cost of cars is too damaging. I think that there are certain types of things, like eggs or cars or gasoline, that the general population is just throwing their hands up in the air, and these are markers for the economy, the greater economy. And I think that if you see BMWs go up in price by 25%, when you don't see Fords go up in price by 25%, this is going to be rage-inducing for a lot of people. I think that if you do it as a general thing for all things from China or all things from Canada, this is maybe, it's damaging, don't get me wrong, but it's maybe a little bit less damaging than one specific product that people are really, really going to get angry about. And protectionism never works. You will end up with worse cars as a result. If you've got a 25%, if you're Ford and you've got a 25% benefit over other manufacturers, guess who's not spending that money on R&D? They're going to spend it on stock buybacks. That's all I got to say. Sorry. So the answer is we don't know at this moment. We're watching carefully.
And nor do we know if it's even going to become a thing. Wait, Max, I needed that.
Okay, you take over the question.
No, I just saw somebody asked something that I wanted to answer. It was, what issues do you see the name was Zwise1. That's quite nice to say. What issues would you see in importing a Japanese camper van to Canada? Voltage, appliances, engine maintenance, etc. Campers are difficult. We stopped allowing the purchase of campers for a very long time. We have recently started offering it a little bit more, but there are a lot of warnings and caveats before you do it. I don't know I'm trying to figure out the fastest way to answer this in the most detail, which is like pick three, right?
We should do a main topic for campers and really think it out before we answer it.
Yeah.
But I think just put simply, the dream of getting a Japanese fuel-efficient tiny camper and then going to the campsite and being, look at my quirky camper, all of you other campers, I'm better than you. Sorry, I'm putting it a little bit worse than it actually is, but there is a huge appeal for that.
Yeah. And we recognize that.
I think people fall in love with that idea before thinking through the details. And the details of owning a 15 to 25-year-old camper that probably wasn't maintained very well in Japan or updated at all, and driving it around in a country that doesn't have spare parts, and you're going to be in Alaska for 2 weeks until you can get the parts for a breakdown. I don't know. It's for people who have a good appetite for adventure,
right? We have
and DIY customizations.
Yeah, and like the difficulty for us and the reason why we stopped doing campers is they would often have issues here before they got to you. Once they get to you,
because they're not maintained very well.
Right. Once they get to you, you can do all the DIY and everything, but before that, we have to find someone to fix it, and when they break down, I have to push them through intersections and wait for tow companies to charge us.
We had a camper
$1,000.
engine blow in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah,
and they are heavy, right?
They are fairly heavy, yes.
Yeah.
So they're difficult, and because they're so large, they're extra difficult.
And some dealers in Japan won't work with them because, especially electronic things, because campers are different from a regular vehicle. Regular vehicle has a wiring diagram that you can look up. A camper is a hodgepodge usually.
Yeah. Were there any other questions? I know we're a bit over.
A bunch more, depending on how long we want to...
Wait, can I have reverb?
Let's do a few more. We opened it up to people to ask questions, and it's only fair that they get them answered.
Okay. If a customer has opted for container, can other items be put into the container?
No.
Yes. Next question.
Who's going to do that? We don't generally like our customers to do containers, and there's many reasons for that. Just like the camper thing, it's not a simple explanation. We don't handle parts. We don't have a forklift. We don't have a warehousing facility where we can
put the parts directly into the container. Parts are complicated because we don't know how many can fit in with those specific cars. If you're looking to do this on the regular, you should probably go to a specialist who has their own yard, who has experience loading cars and parts together, because you don't want the one to damage the other inside there. Yeah. And while it's technically something that's possible for us to do and we have experience with it, it's all outsourcing to other companies, and it's never going to be super duper cost competitive compared to what somebody else can do. And it puts a lot of stress on us who don't normally do it. Like we said earlier in the cast, anytime that we're asked to do something outside of the norm, this gets exponentially more difficult for us.
Yeah. And we care about giving good service.
And container is a bad way to ship cars. It just is for most people.
Yeah.
Next one. Do you guys... from Richard Björkvin. Do you guys notice any swings in what's popular to bid on, depending on what other people in the YouTube car sphere are buying or modifying?
I don't know if it actually affects the prices of it. I think most people, so the car YouTubers, here's the idea. Car YouTuber buys a new car and enough viewers watch that they want to then buy that same car, right? Car YouTubers are buying the cars that everybody wants anyway to begin with. And so those cars are already known to most people. And then if it's a quirky type of car, I think most people want to live vicariously on the mistakes that YouTuber is making, not have those mistakes themselves. Outside of that, I don't watch most of these car YouTubers, so I don't know. And so it might be happening on the fringe, but I would say probably not very much.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I think that's fair.
We're probably through the questions.
All right, somebody write something and we can just close out on that. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't use the mouse. I always forget. It's right there. And I'm like,
I know,
give me.
We should put a note. Don't touch this.
Yeah. Ask Max for permission. Oh, you moved it. Or did I move it? All right, what's the last note? I think it's cool that we can interact with people live.
Oh, thoughts on the Lotus Evora?
Thoughts on the, if you own a Lotus Evora, they are excellent cars. If you own an Elise, don't bother.
Ooh.
As somebody, let me just drop this in every single one of our live streams. As somebody who drives an Elise, the benefit of the Elise is that you're buying a razor blade that is extremely, extremely sharp, and there's nothing else that can cut as good as that. If you're buying an Evora, you've decided to take the razor blade and then dull it until it doesn't do its job as a razor blade anymore.
But
it can still be used for other things. You can put it underneath a table so that the table doesn't wobble. I'm trying to work on this metaphor here. The Evora is a fine car, but there are other cars that do the car thing better. The Evora is basically a fatter, worse handling version of the Elise.
But it's more comfortable, I guess.
I guess you could say you can still cut stuff with it. It's just not as fun.
So it's like sheathing your razor blade. And it's no longer razor sharp, but it's more practical.
Maybe peeling potatoes with a katana. No, it's not that bad.
All right. Buying a Lotus Evora is like peeling potatoes with it.
But you know, understand what I'm saying, right? The Elise, nothing at all compares with it. It is the only car in its market, except for maybe the Alfa Romeo 4C, which is not as good in my opinion, even though many people might disagree with that. The Evora is in a market with the 911 and the Cayman,
right?
And you know, some good mention, like Fairlady, even like anything that is a sports coupe. There are so many good cars in that why would you go for the Lotus and deal with Lotus-like problems? I don't know. That's my 2 bits on it.
Okay, maybe good closing question. What is from JT, what is the best deal you guys think people are passing on?
We already answered this 2
we did a little bit
ago.
Yeah.
The best what?
The best deal thinks that people are passing up or not paying attention to or something like that?
Yeah,
Take advantage of.
The answer that we said last time is that you guys are smarter than you give yourself credit for. The market makes itself. These are auctions. Any car that is popular will go up in price. Any car that is not popular will go down in price. And there are enough buyers that have already been searching meticulously with a fine-tooth comb every single car in Japan. There aren't
there's no
hidden cars anymore. The internet knows everything. This is not 1995 anymore, and there are hidden things that the internet doesn't know.
Yeah, no specific model, but there can be specific cars that are good deals, depending on what you want and what you're after. I think that's
right.
kind of the closing thing we had last time.
To loop back to what we were talking about earlier in the cast, modified cars are the popular ones, right? They're not the money makers. All of our dealers, and this is 90%, more than 90% of the business that we do, are dealers looking to sell the cars for profit, right? Mm-hmm. It's very rare for them to be buying modified cars. If you're looking to import for profit, something boring, like
everyone's buying SUVs these days.
Hilux Surf, Pajero, Land Cruiser, Delica, Jimny. These cars here, you want a car that's not going to give you much trouble, can be prepped for sale fairly easily, and has a big buying market for the people that can afford it, right? And the people who like those tend to be the midlife crisis, semi-retired type people who have plenty of money, who are okay splashing it. The interesting and fun cars tend to be loved by the people who are not able to buy them as well. It's just the fact of the matter. So,
okay, time to wait. I've been wanting to do that for the longest time.
Can I do it too, or is that
your
considered
evening
copying?
news? No, I think we both do it at the same time. That's your evening
How
news
long do
with
we-
Mike and Derek.
How many clicks?
Too many. God, it's probably annoying for people.
Right next to the mic.
No. Ouch.
Closing words. If you haven't already, go check out Drives Japan. That's our second YouTube channel. This is an excellent way that you can get to know us if you like this sort of content. But none of this sort of content is on that channel. But if you like us, or if you like me, especially doing voiceovers, go check out that channel. If not, make sure that you subscribe to this channel here, where we do these live casts once a week. And we also show you some of the cars that we buy from auction. And you get to hear Max, and you don't get to see him.
That is true.
You can see and hear Mike. And we are thinking about having some of our other staff come into the live shows once we get a little bit more established. I think that'll be fun. You can get to know more of us. So look forward to that. Do we have anything else to add, or are we time to peace out?
I hope the dishes are done. I hope the laundry's folded. I hope your
Vacuuming.
car is clean. I hope the vacuuming's done. Yes. I hope the kids are in bed. I don't know what you've been doing while listening to us talk, but I hope it's been productive. And I hope you've enjoyed your time with us.
That was smooth.
That's all from us at Pacific Coast Auto in Japan.
Yeah. And we're at 13 minutes and 3 seconds average view duration.
We're also at 30 minutes over our allotted time.
Okay. All right. We're out. Everyone, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.